Hi guys, Dave and Terry here. We're playing our run through of the Battle of Wartenburg. So you can see the dike with Wartenburg there, all the French sitting over the dike. Prussians are streaming through or attempting to. Here we'll come over closer. It's Prussian Hessian Brigade. So that's Morand in the town, Fontanelli sitting there. Over here we have Mecklenburg's brigade streaming forward towards the town of Bleden. In Bleden, as you can see, we have some Wartenburgers who have just suffered some casualties, and this is our second turn of the game. And unfortunately, all the French artillery, well, two of the three batteries, particularly the ones over here, the one at the chateau or the Wartenburg castle, that one there, and the one on the rise, the 12-pounder battery, have all assault fired and rolled really badly and caused themselves casualties, and one's gone low on ammo. So this is our second attempted run through after some modifications. This is a 12x6 table, and we're using GDA. More to follow. Okay, we're back. It's turn 6. As you can see, the dike is pretty empty French. And the hill, the little rise over there, used to have a 12-pounder on it. And the Prussians, as they have two off-board batteries on that side across the Elbe, they opted to assault fire that 12-pounder and have destroyed it, which caused the brigade to falter. And then Terry, in his magnificence, rolled a 1, and the entire brigade bugged out from that dike. And as you can see, Steinmetz is now moving as fast as his little legs can carry him across towards it. The French still occupy Mecklenburg, and the Prussians are slowly moving forward. Fontanelli is still sitting here nice and pretty, throwing a skirmish line across the river and the dike to come across. Over here we have the Hessian Westphalian cavalry, which has just arrived. More Hessians over here. Now over here, after 3 turns of being hesitant, the Prussians, Mr. Mecklenburg, the old prince, he has thundered forward, expending 3 ADCs with a forwards order to try and get the grips with these Wartenburgers. So we'll be back in a couple of turns to see what the outcome is. Okay, we're back. We now are playing turn 10. As you can see, the Prussians are all along the dike. They have sustained casualties. The French have attempted to come forward, but the little smokes, by the way, are because they have the fire discipline, so they've had some very poor rolls. We've had one retreated unit there from fire. The Prussians suffered some casualties over here from artillery. So that's Morand's brigade. We're over here to the 2nd Brigade of that division, that corps, the 4th Corps. The Hessian cavalry, followed by the Westphalians, is trying to get through the town to get into the open ground and cause the Prussians some problems. We'll see how that goes. Prussians are still sitting there, trying to cross the river. In the distance there, that is Horn's brigade, finally on the table. The Italians are still in reverse, haven't learnt much over the years either. And we come over to this side. This is the Bleden battle. The Wartenburgers are still in control of the town, but as you can see, the casualties have mounted. We have an 8, a 9 and a 2. The Prussians also have some serious casualties here, as you can see. We have a 5, 8 and a 5, so the Landwehr, the East Prussians and the Silesian Grenadiers have just put in a charge and lost by 1 on the 1st and 2nd round, so have bounced, which has caused the rear support, not quite the supports, but the next wave is now on form, hoping to go formed so they can put in another charge. So this is turn 10, so there's Horn, all his guys, and we will continue again later. Okay, we're back guys, it's turn 11. As you can see here, there are two French battalions which have broken. They are on the run, so they are going off the table. The Prussians have fought them off with some artillery fire. And if you walk around to Wartenburg, you'll see some Prussians here. Most upsetting, that brigade there has faltered. The French artillery has done them some harm. So, and of course, the artillery associated with that brigade, which is sitting there, went for an assault fire. It already had 6 casualties, and I managed to roll snake eyes, thus causing myself 2 casualties, and the gun battery has had enough for today. I was attempting to have a crack at these guys here, but the brigade went hesitant, they were unformed, they've opted to retire back to not get shot by artillery, but nothing happened in that regard. The French here are also hesitant. We'll have a long-range view of Horn's brigade crossing the river. There's Blucher and all his cronies sitting in the background having a chat. Then we'll walk our way over to Bleden. The Prussians have put in a charge. They have eliminated the Wartenburg Light Infantry Battalion which was holding the village. It has broken. The Prussians now have control of the town at 2-11. But as you can see, as I come around here, the brigade is pretty unhappy. Okay, we're back again. We're about to start turn 14, so the Prussians haven't made much headway here because they've gone hesitant. The brigade they're facing, though, has gone demoralised. There's only 1 battalion left. Those skirmishers belong to the guys in the town. Battery is still alive. The Prussian faltering brigade from the previous turn has survived. Turned around and it's coming back. Even though I did lose an artillery battery, we've got another one up. We forced a crossing here, but this dastardly Westphalian and Hessian cavalry has put itself out there, so that's going to be interesting to see what they do. Now over here, the Italians have opted to back off, and they've turned to their flank because of what's happening over here. Bleden is firmly in the grips of the Prussians. There is a lone Wartenburg battalion square as the Prussians have debouched from Bleden in force. And here we come, as you can see, Horn's brigade has been marching down that road under forwards orders for the last couple of turns. So we'll continue shortly. Okay, we're back. It's turn 14, end of turn 14. You see the Prussians streaming through. There was a final Wartenburg battalion there. Now they are all gone. We do have a teeny weeny, you can see behind all the dice there. There's a Hessian cavalry regiment coming towards the Prussians as the Prussians are streaming along merrily. Okay, we're coming towards the centre. Okay, about here, I'll get right in those guys. So here we've just had a melee, and those dudes there, so those Westphalian guys, they've just attempted to charge the reserves there, and it was a sad event for them. Terry rolled a 5. The Prussians rolled 12, and they have retreated, losing a D3 casualties. The Prussians have finally crossed the dike and are facing off against the skirmish line. That brigade that broke is still sitting there, very unhappy. We'll continue shortly. Okay guys, after a discussion after the end of turn 14, before the start of 15, we've opted to call this a tactical Prussian victory. So here we have the Prussians facing off here. Oh, it's a handheld job, so excuse us, there we go. So they are screening retreat. The Italians are attempting to face the oncoming Prussians, but I suspect they will also start moving. Oh, there's a dreaded hand of God. And you see the Prussians are all here. Following the unsuccessful attack on the reserves there, the French cavalry have retreated and they have begun debouching from Wartenburg. The French opted, we discussed the possibility of the brigades in Murat's division attacking the Prussians over here, but Terry doesn't like the fact that the offboard 12-pounder, just sitting across the river, will be lighting them up as soon as they get into range. So also we discussed the possibility of a French attack in the centre against the Prussians, particularly here, because they were feeling pretty beaten up. But over here there is the Lieb Regiment, which is pretty much full strength, and at veteran status could probably hold any type of French move coming out of the town. But it would have been interesting. Part of the issue over here, obviously, coming back to Bledden, is that the reserve force here would take approximately 5 moves to get around that road, providing it doesn't get intercepted or within the range of the 50-centimetre rule for the forwards move, which would stop them. So we've opted to call this a tactical Prussian for our first big run through of Wartenburg. Thanks for watching.